Okay, well, it's that time of session where we need to start thinking about your first assignment. There are two layers to this first assignment. One layer is around generating some skills in digital literacy, encouraging you to think of yourselves as the creators of digital content rather than just the consumers. We also want to encourage you to think creatively about how you might leverage the potential that Web 2.0 type technologies, social media can offer in terms of delivering professional services, how you might use those kinds of platforms and environments in your professional careers. The second layer is really about critical thinking. So we're asking you to read some material, to comment on that material, to develop some sort of analysis around the readings that we've specified. Now, what do we mean by critical in this context? The idea here is that you are taking a detached standpoint. So you're not being critical in a negative sense. You're being critical in an informed sense. Okay. What are you informed by? Well, you're informed by the context of this subject. So that's the context that you're approaching this from. It's not just a case of saying I think this or I think that. It's more about saying I think this because. So you're trying to demonstrate that you've got that informed position. That you've been informed by the reading, the study you've done through the subject material, through the additional readings. That's developed your understanding of the issues that we're exploring here, and you can demonstrate that in approaching these reviews. So you've got that informed position. That's the starting point. How do we demonstrate that kind of critical approach? Well, you're trying to analyze the readings from your detached and informed standpoint. You're trying to identify the key themes that the author is presenting. What's the author's argument? What's the structure that underlies that argument? What are the key points of analysis that the author is presenting to support the development of an argument? What are the key points they're making? Can you identify those key points? And from there, can you see any gaps? Where's the author coming from? Okay, that's one side of it. And what can you bring to the table? Are there any gaps in the argument that the author is presenting? Are there any gaps in terms of the underlying structures, the underlying points that substantiate the author's argument? So you're trying to get into the nitty-gritty of what the author is offering, and trying to dissect that to some extent. Okay, so you can bring in comparative perspectives from your readings. Are there other papers? Is there anything else that you've read that provides an alternative comparative perspective that you can draw on? And if you bring all that together, if you can synthesize those different layers, your understanding of where the author is coming from, your understanding of their argument, their key points, and perhaps the comparative, the alternative perspectives that you might bring to your analysis of those key points and that overall argument. Well, if you can bring that together, then you've got yourself a critical review.